Good afternoon. How is everybody this afternoon? We are going to break this down in different series. I won't be able to expound on this subject in no 10, 15, 20 minutes. I have made a conscious decision, which was like 4 years ago. I was in a crossroad in my life. And I really wanted to have a better understanding of the renewing of your mind. We always hear about that particular scripture that's coming out of Samuel. I think it's Samuel 12, chapter 12, and verse 2. And it always tells you exactly, it says, do not conform to the world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You may prove what that is good and acceptable and perfect in the perfect will of God. Even though I heard those words many, 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 many years, and I assumed that it just meant one thing, where you just kind of like confess that I now accept Jesus Christ as my personal Savior. This is just me. I was thinking just because I said I'm going to do the renewing of my mind, and that was enough because I never saw a blueprint. I did not see a procedure. I did not have a structure or a reference point from point A to point B, from 1 through 5, 1 through 6, 1 through 12. Is it a 2 months course, a 6 months course? Is it something that you can do in 5 months, five years? And no, it is not. Because the renewing of your mind is something that's going to be consistent. It's going to be daily. It's going to be minute by minute, day by day, second by second, especially when it depends on when you come to a point in your life. You're going around in a circle. You're not moving. You're not going anywhere. It's not happening for you. That made me want to research more of the Bible, more of biblical, more of scientific, more of things that was just out of the norm. And how can I put it all together in a book form, in a booklet where people can purchase it and they can go along with some of the things that the Lord has downloaded in my brain, because my brain was not on the level of being able to understand this in the manner in which I have been privileged to have the opportunity to have such a download that came from me researching and wanting and constantly praying and asking God, how do I do this? It is more to this than meets the eye. So today we're just going to go over a few things that I had to research, a few things that was brought to me. I even asked lots and lots of people. I asked ministers, prophet, layman people, what are the steps to renewing of your mind? I always receive the same answers, where you have to fast and pray for God to give you the renewing of your mind. But even with that answer, it was not enough of an answer, because I knew that there was more to it than that. Then, like I said before, without being redundant, it has taken me 3.5 years to get from point A to point B. I'm saying that to say this. This is why I chose the topic and the name for myself in regards of being a professional coach, from grief to greatness with recovery. And then I added on there, from my breakdown to godly breakout, because I had to personally ask the Lord during this transition, come and go with me inside of me, in my soul, and transform me and show me, how do I get to these steps? Unbeknownst to me, I had no idea that the transformation and the transforming of your mind was going to be a turmoil of the truth of who you are. And in the process of going through this, there were many steps that I had to go through. Maybe you don't have to go through those steps. Maybe you were able to get to where you are right now quickly. I don't know, but it hasn't been quickly for me. And once I came to the decision that I needed to ask Jesus Christ to hold me by my hand, come go with me in my soul inwardly, because your soul is the thing that is going to help build and tell you who you are, because that's when you have a split personality. Either you're going to work in your character, or are you going to be performing in your personality? So with the both of those together is going to allow you to constantly keep moving towards the process of trying to figure out, how do I get there? Then I came up with the questions: what are the steps to the renewing of your mind? So then I researched the mind, the heart, and the soul. And with the mind, the heart, and the soul, I also had to connect with that, the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. Because with the conscious mind, if there is any type of trauma that has occurred in the conscious mind, depending on how graphic it is, and depending on the depths of the pain of the trauma, most of the time your conscious mind cannot deal with the trauma. So what happens is the subconscious mind take over. And what the subconscious mind does is the stronger entity of the conscious mind. The subconscious mind is the portion that can deal with it. It's the portion that allows the conscious mind to stay in a hybrid state until it is able to deal with the trauma. That's when they say sometimes people come up with a split personality, because they're not able to deal with it. So in dealing with the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, all of those two things will affect the three things, which is your heart, your mind, and your soul. Your personality is your behavior. That is your outer behavior. Your personality is the part of you that will allow you and anyone else to see how you're feeling, what you think about it, how you were affected by whatever it was that was said to you, what it is doing to the subconscious mind and the conscious mind. That's your personality. Now we have a choice between our personality and our character. The character is the stronger characteristics of an individual that now understands all the tricks, the plots, the evilness, and the negativity of people that is assigned to you on purpose to, what's the word I want to use here? To agitate your soul. So when people are trying to agitate you on purpose, and your in depth is to stay in your character, because your character is one of integrity. Your character is one of honesty. Your character is one that is on a higher vibration. Your character is an individual that knows how to overlook and excuse all of your negativity that you're trying to thrust upon them, and then they made a conscious decision not to go into their personality. It takes a very strong individual, while going through the journey of the renewing of your mind, to stay in your character. If you've never ever prayed the prayer and asked God, show me who I really am for real, show me the real individual. Now, this is where the renewing of your mind is getting ready to come forth. This is where you're getting ready to find out some characteristics that you may not have even known that you had in the journey of trying to find out who you are in Jesus Christ. And not only find out who you are in Jesus Christ, but you're going to find out who you are in dealing in this world of 2025, and whether or not if you're going to stay in your character or if you're going to stay in your personality. There are certain different types of trauma and traumatization. You may have been in your character when the trauma first came, but at the beginning of the onset of the trauma, this is where your survival skills will come in, and now your personality will take over. And when your personality take over, because you've already prayed the prayer, Lord, show me who I am in my soul and not my heart and my mind. Because your mind is the muscle that tells you what to do and tells you how to think. Your heart will tell you how to feel, but your soul is going to process all of the things that is now down in your subconscious mind, because your conscious mind don't want to deal with it, so it have to be transferred over to your subconscious mind. We're talking about the renewing of your mind. And for those that I have asked and they weren't able to maybe give me the answer that I was seeking, this is why I had to go on a research to find out definitively, and from a biblical point of view, a science point of view, how do you reach the renewing of your mind? How do you come from a low vibrational way of thinking into a higher way of thinking? I believe that in the Bible it also says, so as a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think on a low vibrational level, then you're going to receive the low vibrational abundances that you're going to get. And in changing your mind and renewing of your mind also will depends on when did your mind and your body and your soul and your subconscious mind and your conscious mind finally came to a real decision on how am I going to deal with this. It will definitely take a lot of prayer. It'll definitely take a lot of reading. And it'll definitely take you being so honest with yourself in the situation that you're in that will show you who you are with your personality. Ask me how I know. On the day that I found out what had happened to my son, from that day to this one, I have never ever been the same person. I had an opportunity to see who I am and who I was. We're going to stick with the past tense, was, because that person no longer exists as of today. And thank God I have enough witnesses and people here in Sacramento that know me, know the story, know the testimony, know the horror, and above all, they were shocked at this onset of a personality that I knew nothing about. I never even dreamed that I could actually become the person that I was displaying in my personality under trauma. I can relate to the trauma based on the Bible story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and how they were told that you cannot worship your God. You need to bow down to me, and they wouldn't. So they made up their mind that regardless of what the outcome was going to be, they stayed in their character. It's the perfect, um, excuse me. I have allergies really bad. This is the time of the year that these allergies really jack me up. My eyes be all swollen up like somebody's beating me, and I be coughing all the time. But regardless of what, I'm still going to proceed on. I'm not going to allow this as an excuse to let me not move forward. And a lot of times we're going to take a sidebar. We're going to come back to the main subject. Once you make your mind up that you're going to pursue, once you make your mind up that you're going to be an individual, you're going to keep going no matter what. That's when every obstacle, every excuse, everything that comes up, everything that could go wrong, because now you are turning the page in your life because you're serious about the renewing of your mind and how to get there. And I believe once the adversaries see that, okay, this person is persistent in making a move of becoming a better individual, in making a move in being someone that has some type of an opinion to different things that is in the Bible, making a move just because I may not explain it the way that you do or articulate it the way the download it has been given to me, that does not mean that my way is the right way, your way is the right way. The right way is the way that is written in the Bible. And it has been up to me to find out how can I reach this. And with me reaching this, I'm hoping and praying that this would give me an opportunity to explain it to other people that maybe they did not get it as well. Back to my main point. In going through the traumatization of the family member, I developed an attitude of violence. I developed an attitude of just being very defensive. I developed an attitude of hostileness. I developed an attitude of anger and hatred and unforgiving. And all of those things will lead you to and away from the renewing of your mind. Because in the renewing of your mind, you cannot have hatred. In the renewing of your mind, you cannot have animosity. The renewing of your mind, you cannot have any form of vindictiveness that you want to get back at these people. In the renewing of your mind, you have to let go of the hostility and the hatred and the madness and wanting to just take it out on everybody, because now your world has absolutely fell apart. But we're still talking about the renewing of your mind. And as I said, this is a series, and it'll probably take maybe 5 or 6 series. So this is just part 1, and we'll definitely go into part 2 with the renewing of your mind and how it affects your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, how it affects your heart, your mind, and your soul. All of those things come together. So far, I have taken you to the first steps of what it is that we have to do, that you have to do, and I have to do in order to obtain the renewing of your mind and being like a God-like individual. And that part of being able to love people when they purposely hurt you, when they purposely are constantly doing whatever it is that they need to do to vex your spirit, and you're wanting to stay in your character and not your personality. What do you do when you fall back into your personality and not your character? That's when you do like David do, and you admit immediately, I didn't make the mark quite today. I didn't come up to the standards in which you have required me to do with the renewing of your mind. If you would give me the strength and the courage that I need to do it the way that you do, dear Lord, I promise you, I will definitely get there. So as I get there, I plan to take some other people with me that may not understand the journey that you have to go through with the renewing of your mind. So we're going to leave this at part 1. There's about 6 different series to this. And like I said, at the end of this, I do have a book and a booklet that you can follow. And you can put your own journey in there on how God has blessed you to come from point A to point B. Once again, this is August 2025, and this is your speaker, Shalia Speaks. Thank you very much for your time. God bless, and we will continue this next week. Have a good week. Thank you.